ARK SOTF on console. Ragnarok coming to ARK Switch. And ARK 1 to get an Unreal Engine 5 upgrade. You're right kids, it's Raasclark and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So yes, that's right, perhaps the most surprising announcement ever during ARK 1's life cycle. We are going to get an Unreal Engine 5 upgrade. What? Delivered in the form of a meme via their main Twitter page over the night. Simply saying ARK 1 on Unreal Engine 4.5 is a no, ARK 1 on Unreal Engine 5 is a yes. And no, it's certainly not a troll. The devs have confirmed this. ARK 1 is going to get a brand new engine overhaul to the engine that's going to be running ARK 2 on, creating a number of theories, speculations, questions regarding what happens next. Now, we haven't got any more concrete details to run on just yet. I think we're going to get some this weekend, but I have done a lot of looking into Unreal Engine 5 and I can perhaps offer an idea of what to expect. Firstly, we've already seen ARK 1 in Unreal Engine 5 during a few cinematics trailers created in the past by CUDA course. Here's one from the Fear Evolved event we saw last year, or was it the year before? It seems like it's been quite a while since we saw this one. And in recent months, Greg Coulthard did a Unreal Engine 5 mock-up of what ARK might look like in this engine too. I'll link this in the description. But what exactly does an Unreal Engine 5 upgrade mean for ARK 1? For those who don't know, Lumen and Nanite are the biggest reasons why this is going to be a game-changing thing for ARK 1. And a great comparison can be used looking at Fortnite recently given the same upgrade, whereby Lumen completely reshapes how lighting is managed. Rather than static lighting meshes, it's much more dynamic. It gives extra dimension to a game. It makes it look more realistic than it ever has before. Nanite, on the other hand, improves the textures, how well things are rendered, how well they look. And whilst there's some arguments that longer distance things might look a bit worse, there could be a bit of pop in, close-up textures will look absolutely fantastic. A step up and handled really well with this new engine. Now, those are the two main graphical reasons why to use this new engine, as well as some other things we'll get to in just a moment. But how exactly is this engine going to be used for ARK 1? There's some speculation on perhaps it's going to get just a simple upgrade to this engine, and I don't think that will be the case. I think there will be a lot of bugs happening if Wildcard were to do that, meaning they're going to have to pretty much rebuild ARK 1. And it sounds like this has been in the works for some time and they're only just being able to talk about it. And if that's the case, what does it mean for all different platforms? Lest we forget, ARK 1 is still on the older consoles. And again, we can use Fortnite as an example. What will probably happen is, whilst every version of ARK 1 will get this Unreal Engine 5 upgrade, the Lumen and Nanite features, which are very process heavy, probably won't be included with the older ports, though you'll see them on the PS5 and Xbox Series X, hopefully, and definitely, of course, the PC. The Nintendo Switch has the capability to have this too, though I do think they'll probably tick those two options off as well. So to get the best looking version of ARK is going to be PC, the latest Xbox, and PS5. But the Unreal Engine 5 doesn't stop there on what it can offer. With this new engine comes in a plethora of new assets in the form of Megascans, a free asset library, if you will, that can be added to any of your Unreal Engine 5 games. And it may be that Wildcard might use some of these assets and readdress some areas. We've seen videos out there already in the wild. Somebody recreating Avatar in game, which looks spookily close to ARK 2, looking a bit similar to ARK 1. And it could be that Wildcard could use these assets and simply import them into ARK 1. Or they're going to remodel their original assets from ARK 1 to be up to date with Nanite meshes. And with Mega Scans and Unreal Engine 5 comes a great opportunity for the modding scene. See, modding is a lot easier with this brand new engine, and depending on the limitations, well, we could be seeing some very creative mods for ARK 1 in the future. And what does that mean for existing ARK 1 mods? Well, sadly, these are built on an engine prior to Unreal 5. So anyone who's created mods in the dev kit will probably have to port these over to the new Unreal Engine. And there's ways to do it. There's ways to move those assets over to that. And depending on how complex those existing mods out there are, depends on how well they're going to move on over. Or ARK Studio Wildcard are going to create something in place to help support those modders, acknowledging the modding community are certainly a big part of ARK's development. So what does that mean in terms of ARK 1's longevity now? Well, with a brand new engine comes a brand new way to experience ARK 1, and I'm guessing is being brought in to possibly replace ARK 2's launch this year. There's no way they would be announcing this unless ARK 2 was being delayed, probably pushed back till next year. They're going to want at least 12 months of ARK 1 on this brand new Unreal Engine, and well, it's not going to release next week, or maybe it will release sooner than we think. Apparently the devs have been aware of this for a long time, so maybe we will see this sooner than we think. They definitely can't leave this until the summer. It feels far too late to drop it then, so perhaps we will see this in the next few months. But I do think this all confirms ARK 2 this year. Probably very unlikely, but a much bigger picture for ARK 1's future. A lot of you out there, since ARK 2 was announced, have all been shouting out, why not make ARK 1 better, put it on Unreal Engine 5. Nublitz did a video saying they would never do it. A lot of people wanted this to happen, and here it is, meaning things like this. SOTF could see this graphical uplift as well, and it certainly could spell a completely new way of playing ARK in the future. I think certainly from a modding perspective, this is going to be so much easier to mod for, because it is easier to mod for in this engine, and therefore we might see an easier integration with things to ARK 1 to help keep its life cycle until this inevitably delayed ARK 2. Either way, it's a very exciting, very surprising announcement, and I look forward to seeing more. Talking about SOTF, yes, Wildcard are on a roll. The night before last, they announced that we will see ARK the Survival of the Fittest on console at the end of the month. On the 31st of Jan, console players will be able to play this. Not much more to go on yet. As far as we know, this is still going to be a cross-play release across the platform, so PlayStation, Xbox players, we can all play together. Gonna have a fun time there. And a few of you playing on the Switch have asked if it's coming to that. Currently, it's not. The devs have said if it's popular enough, they will certainly look to support it for the Nintendo Switch in the future. But for right now, Xbox and PlayStation and PC players all going to play together. And as far as we know, it should be free. It's free on PC. It was a free upgrade to the Survival of the Fittest game, which was a free game that you could download if you owned ARK 1. And we assume the same is going to happen with PlayStation and Xbox, whereby if you own ARK 1, you should be able to download this separately for free. Again, speculation though, don't take my word for granted, but that's a guess. But as we look towards that, there's been even more balanced changes happened just recently, whereby the Trike, Kentro, Bronto, Mammoth, T-Rex, Stego have all been increased in movement and stamina and sprinting, with crossbow and slingshot damage increased, new ranged weapons, so we can now use the simple shotgun, the harpoon gun, and the sword to break stones and rocks apparently, and new grenades, blinding plant Z grenades, bear traps, that's dirty. And shields have been surprisingly dropped too, where you can wield up to Riot to help defend. Loot bags will now be dropped by players who are killed, and a new team-wide buff to any AI-possessed creatures to help secure those tokens out there in the wild. A bunch of awesome changes. I don't doubt we'll see even more as we head closer to the console release date, with things, promises such as matchmaking to be brought in when we reach that point, hopefully when we reach that point, and I look forward to seeing you there soon. In fact, I'll be probably live streaming it tonight. And ARK on Switch, don't worry, don't feel left out. You've got some lovely stuff coming your way soon too. Your very first free map, that's right, Ragnarok is upon you. It's coming, and it's coming pretty soon. As mentioned by Uncle Grove in their dedicated ARK Switch Discord, next patch later this month along with Ragnarok. So that's right, you're going to get to play arguably one of the best maps ARK ever dropped, and one of the oldest really at this point, to play for free. It is a free map, and it's about time, Switch players, you got something like this, and I look forward to seeing how this handles on Switch. I'll be testing it myself. I know there's a lot of bugs being fixed at the moment, single player saves haven't been working correctly, but the team are very active, the team have been very responsive, in fact more responsive than Wildcard in their Discord, I've got to say, and they do put up with you, good grief. You give them some shtick in that Discord, I've read it, and they take it, fair play mate. So there you go, a bit of this, a bit of that for everybody. Unreal Engine 5 for ARK 1. I cannot believe it. I'm still in shock. I'm still theorizing things, and I'm sure you're going to too as the week progresses, and hopefully we get a bucket load of information during this community crunch this weekend, and I guess I'll be talking more about it then after all that. Excited times, possibly a sad time for ARK 2, but still a very exciting time for ARK 1. I guess renewed future for it. Look forward to seeing what happens next, and will we get some more events then in that case? My name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and as always, peace out.